The call came early in the morning, just as Lisa Reynolds was finishing up chores at the rescue ranch. Her phone buzzed on the counter, and when she answered, the voice on the other end sounded indifferent, almost routine. "My mare just had a baby," the woman said. "It's a dwarf. We're going to put him down." Lisa felt her stomach drop. She gripped the phone tighter. "Please don't do that," she said, already reaching for her truck keys. "I'll come get him." The woman on the other end sighed, as if this were just another minor inconvenience in her day. "If you want to waste your time, that's up to you." Lisa didn't waste another second. She drove across the country to get there. Hours passed in a blur, the endless stretch of road only fueling the urgency in her chest. She didn't know what condition the foal was in, how much time he had left, or if she was even going to make it in time. But she knew one thing for sure. This little life deserved a chance. When she finally arrived at the breeding ranch, her breath caught in her throat. There, standing in the dirt, was the smallest horse she had ever seen. His body was frail, his legs crooked, his jaw slightly misaligned. His large eyes darted around as if unsure of the world he had just entered. And when he looked up at Lisa for the first time, something inside her broke. It was as if he was asking, "Did I die and go to heaven?" She knelt down, reaching out to him slowly. "Good morning, little man," she whispered. "You ready for breakfast?" Peabody couldn't nurse properly. His jaw was too weak, making it impossible for him to latch on like a normal foal. He was starving, exhausted, barely holding on. Lisa knew she had to improvise, so she filled a shallow bowl with milk and held it steady in front of him. At first, he struggled, his tiny body shaking as he tried to lap up the liquid. But then, something clicked. He took a sip, then another, and another. He was learning. She watched as he eagerly drank, his little tail flicking behind him. He was fighting. And if he was willing to fight, so was she. Over the next few weeks, Lisa did everything she could to give Peabody a chance at life. She had custom shoes made for him to help straighten his legs. Slowly, day by day, he got stronger. One morning, the sound of tiny hooves filled the house. Peabody was running down the wood floor, his confidence growing with every wobbly step. "You feel like a big boy now, huh?" Lisa laughed as she watched him clatter across the floor. But there was a problem. Peabody was too small to be with the other horses. He couldn't keep up with them, couldn't stand his ground when they bumped into him. One accidental brush and he would fall over. It wasn't safe. And so he became the house horse. Lisa never imagined she'd have a miniature stallion trotting around her living room, but Peabody fit right in. He curled up by the couch, followed her around the kitchen, and even tried to nudge his way into the bedroom. "If you think you're living in the bedroom, you can forget it," Lisa teased. But Peabody had already made up his mind. Lisa had 2 French bulldogs, Penelope and Bugsy, who ruled the house. They were small but full of personality, and Peabody was instantly fascinated by them. One day, Penelope strutted up to him, nose to nose, giving him a long, suspicious sniff. Peabody held his ground, meeting her stare with unwavering confidence. In that moment, a silent understanding passed between them. They were friends. From that day forward, Peabody ran with the dogs. They had races through the house, their little legs carrying them as fast as they could go. Peabody may have been small, but he ran like he was the fastest stallion alive. "Come on, everyone, dinner's served," Lisa called one evening. Like clockwork, Peabody and the bulldogs came running into the kitchen, hooves and paws skidding across the floor. The Frenchies bumped into each other, but never into Peabody. Somehow they just knew. He wasn't as strong as they were. They were always careful, always gentle. He may have been a dwarf, but he was still a stallion. And he had no shortage of personality. He loved chewing on paper. Whenever Lisa caught him, she'd shake her head. "If you keep doing that, I'm going to love Bugsy more than I love you." But Peabody would just wiggle his nose and keep nibbling, completely unbothered. He had another favorite game, nipping at the bulldogs' tails as they ran past him. It was never enough to hurt, just enough to make them jump. They'd spin around, giving him a look of mock betrayal before taking off again. Lisa could never stay mad at him. Dwarf horses don't live long. Their bodies aren't built for longevity, and despite all the love and care, Lisa knew that her time with Peabody would be short. She just didn't expect it to hurt so much. The day Peabody passed away, the house fell silent. No clattering hooves, no mischievous nips, no playful races, just quiet. Penelope sat by his favorite spot, waiting. Bugsy sniffed around the house, confused. Lisa knelt down, pressing her forehead to the floor where he used to lay. "You were really part of the family," she whispered. But Peabody's spirit never left. Everywhere she looked, there were reminders of him. His little shoes, the way the bulldog still ran to the kitchen, expecting him to follow. The tiny chew marks on the corner of an old book. And in every life he touched, Peabody left a mark. Lisa knew she couldn't change the fact that Peabody was gone, but she could make sure his story never died. She started sharing his journey, spreading awareness about dwarf horses and the special care they need. She encourages others to consider rescue over euthanasia, to understand that every life, no matter how small or different, deserves a chance. And for those who want to help, there are so many ways. Donating to rescue organizations, fostering, adopting, or simply sharing stories like Peabody's can make a difference. Some lives are long, others are fleeting. But what truly matters is how much love is shared in the time they have. Peabody was here for only a short while, but his story will live on forever.